Hello you beauties, I'm Ruby from dottydelightful.com. If you are new around here, I am a zine maker and artist and also design for different women in business. If you want flyers doing or a poster or postcards, or you need something doing on your website, that's what I do. So this week I have been delving into the world of ACEOs, which I will talk about in a bit. I'm doing collages and walking in the beautiful autumn sunlight where all the trees are just glorious at the moment. Absolutely beautiful, the colours, so lovely. And Tom, poor thing, who's my partner, has cracked his rib, so he is off work at the moment, and that's been really lovely too. Not that he's cracked his rib, but that he's been off work, because it's meant that we can have really slow mornings and he's just resting up. He's not in too much pain, thankfully. But yeah, it's been different this week than normal. I've also been... What else have I been doing? I've also been working on a fellow artist website, the lovely Kate Gold, helping her set up her shop so she can sell her artwork on there. And that was fun because I learned lots of things for my own website. So I think I'm actually going to swap over. I am currently on Squarespace and it's great and it's easy to use, but the product part of it for the shop, where you're actually posting out physical items, is really difficult because you can only put in one set of postage per item, and that's fine if you're only selling to one country, but if you're like me and I sell internationally, then it's really difficult. So I've looked at workarounds, and you can get workarounds for it, but it's a lot of palaver. So I actually think I might switch over to Wix, which I was on originally maybe 18 years ago or something. That's crazy, isn't it? And the shop, setting the shop up was really easy, and there are different options as well for delivery, which is really important. And I think as creative people, especially when we're running businesses, we need systems that are easy, because let's face it, none of us want to be messing around with all that stuff, do we? We just want to be making and being inspired. So yes, I've been doing that, which is a little bit different. I do help people with websites occasionally, doing different things and setting people's websites up and stuff. I'm just looking down because I've got a wet glue stick and I nearly put my arm on it. I'm just going to move that out the way. Yeah, I do set up websites occasionally for other people and do that kind of thing. So that was really good. But my main focus after that has been collaging, and I cannot wait to share with you what I've been doing. And it's just so much fun. And if you've not heard of ACEOs before and you're a creative as well, get on it. I'm telling you now, get on it. Look at this. So now I've got, this is paper from my orders. It was stuck to my arm. I don't know. Professional, aren't I? I tell you what, if you are new to my channel and you want a professional fancy person, you might as well go now. That's not what this channel's about at all. It's about real life and being just daft and bonkers, and appreciating nature. Anyway, enough of my waffle. Let's get on with it, should we? Let's get on with the show. just out for an early morning dog walk with Badger, which is why I look so sleepy. But I just wanted to show you, this is my favourite spot in the park. This tree, oh, every year blankets the floor. It's gorgeous, and I take a picture of it every year. And if you've been watching my channel for a while, this is the tree where I was throwing all the leaves up. And they were all falling down. It's just glorious. It's a lovely, crisp, fresh morning. Not seen any squirrels yet. I'm holding this with one hand, which is why it's wobbly. There's loads of molehills everywhere. It's just, oh, such a lovely morning. I also want to show you this other tree, which is next to my favourite tree. A silver birch. Silver birch trees are my favourite trees ever. We had one in the garden when I was growing up, and what I love is that the bark peels off. I'm not going to pull any, but you can draw on it like paper. It is glorious. You can see it a little bit starting to peel, and the colour of it. This one's lost all its leaves, but I'll show you how glorious it is. Gorgeous blue sky today, look at that, for autumn. Nice, isn't it? So I'm in the studio and I've been cutting out all different pieces out of the magazines and making different coloured piles for collaging. These are pictures that I really like that don't actually fit. They're like all multicoloured, but I'm going to keep them anyway. So I'm just going to go through all this magazine and cut them out, and then my sheets are now dry, so I'll be cutting them up as well. Look what landed just by accident on my paper, a pressed flower. I'm not actually sure where it's come from, it must have been in a book or something, but I thought that was quite cute. So yeah, all my pieces, I'm going to get these and put these into different folders so it's easier, you know, when I'm collaging, that I've got different sections. But if you look through magazines, you can get some really nice textures, and I'm going to be using my own pieces as well. I've got some jelly plate prints that I made ages and ages ago, just in the drawer, and they've got really nice textures on them. And then when I was creating these, because if you remember, I made them to turn them into zines, but I'm not actually turning them into zines. I'm going to turn each one of these into a mini collage, and I'm going to sell these on my Etsy, and maybe I might even put some on eBay. Have you heard of, I think they're called ACEO's, artist collectors? I can't remember what they're called. I had to look it up to see what it was. ACEO stands for Art Cards, Editions and Originals. And I just came across them last week, and they're tiny, they're this size. They fit in like a baseball sleeve, which I did get somewhere. I don't know where I've put them. It could be anywhere. And yeah, people sell them on eBay, so they put them on as bids on eBay, and it's a really nice way and an affordable way for people to buy original art. So I think that I might do some of them as well and put them on there so people can bid on them, as well as selling full priced ones. So it's really exciting. Look at all the paper. Oh, I love it. And yeah, just thinking that combining everything together, if you watch my last video about finding your art style, combining everything together, so collage, still life and colour, they were my things, and creating things. But also I'm really inspired by landscape photos that I've already got. So we travel about quite a lot, and over our travels I've taken some really nice pictures of landscapes, so I'm going to actually make some landscapes as well, which will be very nice. We've just spent the morning at the allotment, and look at these beautiful flowers that I've picked. I'm going to take these home and put them in a vase, and they're going to be part of my next still life painting. We've also got loads of kale. I don't know if you can see it in there. Oops, lots of kale. Can you see it in there? Don't know. And then Tom's got a whole bag of apples as well off our lovely apple tree. So lots of things to do when we get home today. Look at this rainbow. Ah, how lovely. So I'm back in the studio and I'm making more collages today, little mini ones, which is really cute. These are the ones that I'm making at the minute. I've not finished this one yet, I've got the little leaves to stick on it, but they're all a little bit autumnal. It's really raining today. It was beautiful when I got up this morning, it was beautiful sunshine. So the ones that you've seen me just doing before, these are all finished now. I've added watercolour pencil to them and a little bit of Posca pen. I've so enjoyed doing these. I think this one's my favourite so far, with the little cherry blossom on it. And they're cute, aren't they? They look quite big because they're near the screen, but I'll just show you in my hand. They're like that small. And I got some of these, they're called penny sleeves, I don't know why, maybe they used to be a penny. Little baseball card sleeves to put them in, so they just say just easily, they easily slot in, even though they're not actually easily slotting it. There we go. So they just slot into the little sleeves ready for sending. And I'm going to write a little description on the back of them as well and sign them and date them. So they are ready now to go on my Etsy shop and send them out to, I was going to say a lucky winner, not a lucky winner, to whoever buys them. So that's what I'm doing today, and it's a perfect day for it. Because it's rainy, because it's quite cold. So yeah, this is the one I'm working on at the minute, and I'm gonna stick some little leaves on, and I'm cutting the leaves out of this paper that I painted the other day. It's quite nice because each one, I don't know if you'll be able to see, can I get it close enough for you to see each one's got like texture on it. So it's not just like a flat colour where the brush paint marks have been. So that's really nice. And I've been cutting out the suns as well out of the same. So it's got like a really nice, it's not just a flat colour, it's different colours. And the yellow one, let me just, oh there it is. So that was the yellow one as well, which I've cut out of the yellow part of the page. And you can see it just gives a nice texture. And then this ready pink bit was out of Oh, I don't know where I've put it. I don't know where I've put it. It's a watercolour background that I did, so you can see, and I think it just looks nice when it's got different texture and it's not just flat on it. So, oh dear, my sleeve caught on my leaves. Hang on, I just found them. Yeah, I got them off my dress. Lots of layers on today because it's cold. So I'm just going to carry on and do some more. So to make the collages, first of all, I've got some paper that I painted on, and I've cut this paper up into small pieces which are the right size for making ACEOs, and got them all in different colours. So I made all the different sheets and then chopped them up into the right size, and then I choose which background that I want to use, and then I start cutting out. So I've got all different colours in different envelopes. That's how I've done it. I mean, to be honest, I think I could do with some bigger envelopes because some of the pages are sticking right out, but they're all in colour coordinated envelopes. So these are all ones that I've cut out of the Breeze magazines that you saw, and then I've also painted some paper backgrounds in all different blocks of colour. To do that, I used the Inktense blocks. I've got a big box of these as well. That's what I was using, by Derwent. They're really nice. They come in all different colours, and that you can use water with them as well, which is why I really like them. There's actually 2 layers in that box. Oh, that was an ugly noise. But you could just use paint if you wanted, any paint for the background. Acrylic's quite good because it'll dry fast. And then I choose what elements that I want to put on and start layering them up, which I'll show you in a minute when I make one. These are ones that I'm just currently making. So I'll layer up and stick them down, and then afterwards I'll use pencil crayon to go in, maybe draw around some edges, maybe bring out a little bit of contrast in the artwork. Sometimes I've used Posca pen to draw on top, or like on this one where I wanted some starry sky. And then when they're like that, they're ready to go into the envelopes and ready for sale. So this is how I start. So I'm going to make another one now and bring you along on the journey with me. I realised it was going quite dark, so I've put my lamp on now so you'll be able to see better. This is the trouble now, it's autumn here in the UK and it goes dark really early. I mean, it's not dark outside, there's blue sky and clouds. It's stopped raining now, thankfully, but it's the light. We just don't get the light, and I think because I live in a terraced house, it's like imagine the old mill workers houses, that's what it's like, and so the windows are not very big, so you don't ever get that really bright light in the autumn, definitely not in the winter. And it really does take a toll on when you're working because everything just seems darker. So I'm really glad for my daylight lamp. So as you can see, I'm starting to add layers. Now sometimes I'll look at that and I really love the contrast between this and this, but I don't love the contrast between that one at the back, so that's too light, so I'm going to take that away. And this is an important part, when you're collaging, don't stick anything down until you are fully happy with what you've got, because if you stick down first and you don't like it, it's too late. So don't stick anything down. So that is much better. And you can use all magazine cuttings, or you can use all your own work, or you can use a mixture of both like I'm doing. There's no rules in the way of saying, oh, you can only do this or you can only do that. And I think that's why I really like it so much, because you know, I'm not really a rule follower at all. Well, I'm not really. I am not. I'm not a rule follower at all in any way, shape or form. So this is why I really love the medium of cutting and sticking and collage, because there are really no rules. You can just do whatever you like, really. So I think I'm going to do a little tree there. And basically it's just about finding where you want to put things. I really love that marking though on the page, and I kind of don't want to ruin it. I might actually keep that for something else. Yes, so there's no rules with what you do or where you put your things. It's more of a feeling. And you know, if you're creative and you do art already, you'll know what about this feeling. There are some rules in drawing and art, like the rule of thirds and things like that, which are really kind of rules to make a picture more appealing. If you've never heard of that, it's if you imagine you've got a grid on your page and there's 3, so 1, 2 down there, 2 down there, and then where the grid bit crosses over, that's where you'd put something. So you wouldn't put it right in the middle, you'd put it to the side or so that's the rule of thirds. And you can use that in your collage, but what I find is that it feels more intuitive in a way of just moving things about until you feel happy with them. You feel like, oh yeah, they belong in that place that I've just put them. They feel like, yeah, that's the home where they need to be. And once you've got that kind of feeling and you pop it on the page, then if you then decide you don't want it there, I'm trying to talk and cut at the same time, and it's a little bit difficult. I was trying to concentrate on my cutting. Yeah, if you feel like you don't want it there, like that piece of brownie colour that I just took off before, you can just take it off again and move it to somewhere else. So that's the great thing about collaging. You're not set on where something's gonna go straight away. Now, because it's autumn and anytime we go for a walk in the park, take the dog out, it feels really autumnal now with all the lovely brown leaves falling everywhere. So that's why these ones that I've been doing today, all these ones, have got kind of autumnal theme going on. And the trees are actually losing all the leaves, which is really sad for me, because when they go all bare completely, you kind of like, oh, it's winter's coming. So I kind of like that. I put that there because I didn't like this whole massive expanse of just one solid colour, and I think putting the spotty bit breaks it up nicely. It just adds a little bit extra something to it, so I really like that. I am going to cut out a sun. We all need a bit of extra sun in our lives, don't we? Again, that's a piece of paper that I painted, so I'm just going to cut out a sunshine. Oh, I miss the sunshine when it's not summer. That feeling though of when you're walking out and you get some winter sun on your face. Oh, it's amazing, isn't it? So, do I want that there? Do I want it at the side? I think maybe there to balance it out behind the tree. Let's see. Behind the tree's quite nice, but then I feel like I need something here. So these are my thoughts when I'm moving things around. I'm like, oh, does that feel like it needs to go there? I actually really like the branches of that, but I also think something needs to go there. No, that's definitely going behind the branches. Oh, maybe a cloud. Let's see if I've got a cloudy cloud type of. So what I'm doing now is I'm just seeing this is quite a light green and that's quite a light blue, so that's not going to be much of a contrast. I'm just looking at this kind of colour with the beigey, light orangey pink. That is quite a nice contrast. So I'm actually going to cut a cloud out of that, and I'll just make it like a typical children's book cloud where it's all wiggly. That's a little bit too big now. Any scraps that I cut off I keep. That's quite nice. So I'm just going to use my finger to score the edge, and then I can cut that bit off. I'm actually using really big scissors. I prefer using big scissors, but if I was going to do something really intricate, I'd use some tiny nail scissors. Yeah, I like that. So that's where it needs to be. So now this is the important bit. Got to remember the back layers. So I'm going to take these off one by one. So I'm going to take that off first, and I'm going to draw a line along there because I know that that's where that goes. And actually I really like that pattern underneath, so I'm going to cut that off to keep it, to use it in something else. I'll put that in my green envelope. So now I need to actually redraw that line. So let's move you up a bit there. Let's redraw that line to there. And I know that the spotty one goes on that line and that one goes on that line. That goes in front, and this one needs to go along there. And I am going to also draw around just the bottom of the tree, because when these things get stuck on you won't see them lines. So that's how I know what goes where. So I'll put these in order at the side like this. And I'm using Mod Podge because I really like it to glue my things. So I'm going to glue the sun down first. sorry if the video is wobbling. It's because my phone is attached to a tripod that's also attached to the table, so when I do anything on the table it's wobbling the whole thing. My tripod was attached to a different table, so it didn't affect it, but it wouldn't because the lights moved in because of the window, you know, in the autumn and stuff. Because the lights moved, you couldn't really get a good image where it was attached to the other table, so I've had to move it, and it's not ideal. I am wondering if Tom could maybe make me a wooden stand or something to clamp it to, so it can just stand near and not actually be stuck to the table, which would work much better. So as you can see, I'm just using the Mod Podge to stick down the different elements. The great thing about this is as well that at the end of your session of making, you get to peel it off your fingers. I really love that. Did you ever do that when you was a child? I'm sure you did. If you ever did any kind of gluing and sticking as a child, you will have peeled the glue off your fingers. In fact, I think me and my sister used to paint our hands with it. After we'd finished our pictures, we'd actually paint our hands so we could peel it all off. So I'm just going to double check before I stick this down. So that was next, wasn't it? Behind, yeah. So just rechecking which way that it was actually on, because again I don't want to stick it down and then it's already stuck and you've stuck it in the place that it's not meant to. I mean, you could always quickly try and peel it off. So if you watched my other video where I was finding my art style, you will remember that one of the things that came up was collage, and I did the still life, collage and paint, which I really loved and enjoyed. And this is this is a little bit more graphic, I suppose you could call it, rather than the still life paintings were quite flowy. These are a little bit more graphic, and they don't have paint on them. I mean, they have watercolor pencil, but not like thick paint like the other ones did. But it's still collage. It's still within my 3 things of art style. And again, the reason I love it is because you can do whatever you want. And you've got the parameters. So for these, they've all got to measure a certain size, and whatever you want to put on them is up to you. So that's finished now. Now I'm going to not draw directly onto this one because the glue's still damp. So I'm going to put that to one side, and instead I am going to take one of my other ones that I've done that's dry, and I'm going to draw on these instead, so you'll be able to see what the next step is. Because if the trouble is, if I start drawing on this straight away because it's still damp, all the paper will go funny and start peeling, and I don't want that to happen. So instead I'm going to draw on these. Now with this, I am just searching for the right colour in my watercolour pot. You probably can hear me. And I am using, these are actually W.H. Smith watercolour pencils. These are all right, you know, they're perfectly fine. But what I do really love is these Derwent metallic ones. The pigment in them is much better. You can also get the Derwent watercolour that are not metallic. So I've only got a few of these because I've bought them individually. But once my W.H. Smith ones run out, I will definitely get the Derwent ones. And I am not an ambassador for Derwent. I don't get paid by them to tell you this. I'd like to. Derwent, if you're watching, please pay me to talk about your products, or send me free products, because I'd be more than happy to do that. Because the Inktense blocks are Derwent, my watercolour pencils are Derwent, and also my pencils that I draw with are Derwent as well. Didn't actually realise that. But they are a really good watercolour pencil. The pigment is beautiful in them, so that's why I'm telling you about them. Not because I'm affiliated with them in any way, shape or form, but I would definitely be if they were willing to ask me. So I am just drawing a little bit of watercolour pencil around some of the parts, and now I'm adding a little bit of water, and this is just to blend it in a little bit, so it gives it that kind of shadow. And the thing, you could do this with watercolour paint, you don't have to use pencil, and if you don't have any watercolours you could use whatever paint you add. But the great thing I like about the pencil is that you can keep adding the layers to it quite specifically, you know, where you want it to be, which is nice. I'm just going to find a green. My pencils are all stood up in a pot. I do have some metallic pencils. Oh, I'll show you them in a minute. They're actually really nice, and they're in a like a box, and that's easier because they're flat, so you can actually see, you know, what they are, what colours they are, where mine are just all in a pot and they're stood up this way, like with the tip, with the, what do you call it, can you see that? They're not like, they should be upside down really, shouldn't they, so you can see the colours. Trouble with doing that though, if you've got really nice sharpened leads, they all get broken. So I'm just adding a little bit of that green, and again it's just to give it a little bit of a shadow, a little bit of shading on there. Also, when you're doing this, because you've got different different patterns on your paper and things like that, that if you make a little mistake, not that there is mistakes in art, it's just practice and playing, but if you think you've made a mistake, then it doesn't actually matter because everything just blends in, which is why I like it. And this has been a combination of different things that I've done over the years. Like, if you look at my work from years ago, I've always actually really liked mixed media. I've never just been a plain, I don't know, I just can't seem to just stick to one thing and just, you know, like if it was a watercolour painting, I couldn't just leave it as a watercolour painting. I'd end up adding things to it because I don't know what it is. I just like the extra layers, I suppose in a way it is texture, because I really love fabric, and I started off my life sewing. Well, not when I was a baby, obviously, but I wanted to be a fashion designer, and that's how I started. So it was all very textural with fabric and things like that. Now look at this one, you can see how much I've used this yellow. Look how tiny it is. It's a really nice deep yellow, this one. Really nice pigment. Just going to give that sunshine a little bit of a glow. I'm actually going to make some bigger collage pieces as well, which I'm quite looking forward to. I'm just going to get my pot of pens. So these are ones that I've shown you before. These are from B&M's, which is like a homeware shop here in the UK. And in my lovely Dotty Delightful cup, I've got my Posca pens. Chris, my friend from Magical Me, got me this done for my birthday, which is quite cute. I'd already got one. Oh, I don't know how much I can tip it because I've got water in it, but this was a painting that I'd done, and I'd already got one myself, and I've ended up using it as my water pot. And now the one that Chris got me done, I've used it as my Posca pen pot, because as you know, I always forget to drink brews, so I have my brews in a flask now, and they last so much longer, which is brilliant because I'm not wasting cups of tea or drinking cold tea. And the other great thing about it is, because it's got a lid on, I can't mistake it for my paint water, so I don't I don't end up dipping my brush in my brew instead of my paint water, which is very handy. Just adding a little door. Should I put windows on? Yeah, go on. Quite hard to see that because it's a metallic pen. When I'm drawing it's quite hard to see it. Oh, I need a chimney, don't I, on there. There we go, little chimney. Put my finger in something. I'm just going to do some little dots on the leaves that have fallen off. It's quite cute. Some white smoke coming out the chimney. I don't like the colour of them, those windows. Pen's fallen out a little bit. That's better. So I think I'll just put a little bit of gold on the sun, just on the edge. Oh, it's starting to break up actually. Broke I think I've wet it too much there. I think I need to quit before I make it really bad. This is a handy thing to have, just a flannel, you know, that you can get from the bath section in a shop. Just a flannel, and it's really good for like mopping bits of paint. I'll wait until that dries, and then once it's dry I'll just go over it again with a little bit of gold. But that is how they come out when they're done, and each one comes out differently. So this one that I was doing before, it's dry now, so I can work into that in a bit. But let me show you these pencils. lo and behold, guess what brand it is again? Oh, Derwent. This is so funny. I didn't even realise. But listen, I'm a right geek when it comes to packaging. This has got a magnet closer on it. Oh, love it. So we shall open them, and then look at these babies. Gorgeous. All the colours. These are really nice. So these are not watercolour, these are metallic ones. So yeah, they're not, will that focus on that? Maybe. These are metallic pencils, so I've not actually used them that much. I've used the pink one a bit and the brown one, but isn't it lovely? And I do want to use these more in my work. Perfect. So that's how I've been making the little collages, the little ACEOs, and I hope it's inspired you to make some of your own collages. Yeah, that's definitely my favourite one. I really like this one as well, with a little house. So my first ever ACEO is packaged up in a shiny envelope, and it is going into my Patreon pack, which I am gonna wrap up and send out today to the lovely Sarah, who has been my Patreon since the first time I ever opened it. She was my first Patreon ever, and she's still with me, so thank you. A massive shout out to her. She's getting this lovely pack this week with zines and art and all sorts of different things in it, and the first ever one of these. Thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you've learned a lot about collaging and about ACEOs. It's so nice to spend this time with you, and I really do appreciate every single one of your comments that you leave me. So if you haven't, this is just a little reminder to please subscribe to my channel, because that would mean a lot to me. and also please the YouTube algorithm gods. And if you got a friend what you think might like my channel, please share it as well. Massive thank you to my Patreons. You are amazing. I love you very much, and I'm so grateful that you are sharing this journey with me. And if you've not been on my Patreon, do pop over there. I'll put a link in the description. You can be on there for free, and I do share things on there for free. And also, if you want to be a member, they just start from £3 a month, and you get freebies to download, and I share all sorts of things on there, and we have Zoom calls, and yeah, just a really lovely community. So I wish you the best of the rest of the week, and I will see you very soon. Oh, and tell me in the comments, what is your favourite way to create? How do you like to create? Do you do ceramics? Do you do cooking? Do you decorate your house? What's your favourite way? Do tell me, I can't wait to hear. Bye!